Greetings, brethren and friends, watching us from all over Jamaica and beyond the borders of Jamaica. Thank you very much for joining me on as we go on another journey of faith today. Christian education has been a part of the experience of Seventh-day Adventists from the very beginning of our movement. As a matter of fact, Christian education is an integral part of our mission. One of the founders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Ellen G. White, wrote that education and redemption are one. That is why all over the world, Seventh-day Adventist organizations operate from kindergarten right up to the university level. We have hundreds of prep schools, hundreds of high schools, and we have a significant number of universities. And these educational institutions have been training and shaping the character of young men and young women all over the world. Many persons have gotten a second chance at life as a result of our educational system. And certainly, there will be in the kingdom of God many who would not otherwise be there if they had not become a part of our Christian education system. Today, I'm very pleased to have with me a proud product of Seventh-day Adventist Christian education. She is Ashley Ambersley, a member of the Word of Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church in the parish of St. Anne. St. Anne's Bay, to be exact. Ashley, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy program. I know you are in your first year at university, and the teaching is being done virtually, which makes it a little bit more challenging. I'm glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Pastor.
All right, great. So, you are in your first year at university. They call you freshman, even though you're a woman. All right. Where are you studying right now?
Well, I'm studying computer science, and I plan to not major, but I plan to concentrate on the software engineering side of it.
Okay, so you are planning to make IT, I don't know if that's what they call it, you're planning to make a career out of working with computers?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great, all right. I am jumping to the end. I have jumped to the end, but we are going to go back to the beginning. But where are you doing your studies right now?
Well, I'm doing my studies at Northern Caribbean University, but due to the pandemic, all of us are, well, not all of us, but most of us are doing classes online.
All right, great. So you are really studying from home.
Yeah.
You interact with your teacher, your professor, your lecturer, whatever you call him, from home. All right, as I said in my introduction, you are a proud product of Seventh-day Adventist education. So we are here today to talk about your journey through the Seventh-day Adventist educational system. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you were born. You don't know when you were born. Tell me about your family. Just some brief, information.
Okay, I'm originally from St. Andrew. My parents were working in St. Andrew, and they had me while they were there. My mother is a pharmacist. My father is an auditor here at North Jamaica Conference, and my brother is also a student at St. Anne's Bay High.
So you are a part of a fairly small family.
Yes.
Are you the older of the two children?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. And as I said also in the introduction, you are a member of the Word of Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so maybe I should ask you, what is your church life like? What do you do at church? Are you enjoying it as a young person? Just tell me how you feel about going to church.
Well, I like church. I like to go to church. It's very, refreshing at the end of the week. You don't have to do any schoolwork, no chores or anything. You can just go to church. And, I enjoy the service. In the youth department, I really like it there. Our youth leader seeks to, to help us to bond together as a family, as youth. So I really like that part of church.
Okay. And am I correct in assuming that you were born into a Seventh-day Adventist family?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so you would have been going to church from birth, as it were.
From in the belly.
Okay, that's even earlier than I would have thought. Yes, but great. And you have been enjoying church.
Yes.
Do you think church is an important place for young people in today's world?
Yes, I do, because church has shielded you somewhat of some of the devastating things that have happened in the world and that have happened to young people, teenage pregnancies, and, doing drugs and getting into the wrong company and all of that stuff. Church has really, sheltered me from all of that. I mean, the pressure is there.
Yeah.
But, what, I go to church, I believe in God, I can't do this stuff. So it has really helped me in that sort of way.
Okay. It has been making a great impact on you.
Yes.
Are you a baptized member of the church?
Yes.
How old were you when you were baptized?
I was 8 years old. I was baptized on March the 9th, 2012, actually in week of prayer at St. Anne's Bay High.
Okay. So, from what you have just said, you might be about what? If you're not afraid to reveal your age.
I'm 17.
Okay, you're 17. All right. And so have you said a while ago that you work in the youth department of the church. Have you been doing anything else? Any other office, any other responsibility at church?
No, not really. I was during the election part of church, I was a part of some committee. I don't even remember what type, but I know I was a part of that, but that's basically it. It and the youth department, that's just it.
Okay. One of those committees that are forgotten after the election process is over. It happens in the Adventist Church all over the world. All right. So you think church is important. You think God is important.
Yes, very.
Very important. And you would encourage other young persons to embrace God, to embrace church, to embrace the Bible.
Definitely.
All right. Good. So, Seventh-day Adventist Christian education. What time did you, which school did you attend before embarking on your journey at Northern Caribbean University?
Well, I attended St. Anne's Bay High and Prep School.
Okay. And you started out very early. So that would suggest to me that you were also a part of the kindergarten program there, or you just started out in prep school?
I was in the kindergarten, the prep school, and the high school. I've been through all of it at St. Anne's Bay High.
All of it up until this stage of your life?
Yes.
Okay. I imagine your parents were the ones who decided that you should go to St. Anne's Bay High or St. Anne's Bay Preparatory or kindergarten, whatever it is. You didn't have a choice in that decision.
No, not really.
But as you grew older and you realized that there were other high schools around, other primary schools, other kindergarten schools, which probably might be more famous than St. Anne's Bay High. Has there ever come any regrets? Have you ever experienced any disappointment that, boy, your parents sent you to this Adventist school? What was your reaction as you grew up to realize? Did you, and I'm asking you so many questions, but it's really one question. Were you sorry that your parents sent you to the Adventist school and not to one of the other schools?
Well, I can tell you, in grade 6, after I passed GSAT and I was graduating from prep school, I did not want to go back to St. Anne's Bay High. I did not want to go back. but I wanted to go to, Westwood or York
Okay.
Castle or
One of the
Hillbells.
famous ones in St. Anne.
Yeah, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But, my parents, they still sent me to St. Anne's behind grade 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like it at first. I didn't want to go there, I cried a lot.
You cried?
Yeah, I cried. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because I've met a lot of people there, and that I think I'm going to know for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I've drawn closer to God because of St. Anne's High, so it's a
Wonderful.
blessing.
Okay. But why did you want to go to one of those other schools? What is it that challenged you or inspired you to say, I would have preferred going to one of these other schools that you mentioned? Was it because your friends are gone there, or, what is it? Or you thought they were better?
Well, most of my friends at the time were going to other schools. Only a small portion of them stayed at St. Anne's High for grade 7.
Okay.
But also I wanted a change, to experience the public school system because St. Anne's High is a private school.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to experience the public school side of it, and I wanted to, see, just to experience the public school side of it and to just see what those other high schools had to offer.
Okay.
Because I knew what St. Anne's High was offering.
At least in the preparatory department.
Yes.
But as you said, in hindsight, you thought it was a very good thing that you remained at St. Anne's Bay.
Yes.
And it wasn't necessarily because of peer pressure why you wanted, or just because of peer pressure why you would have had that longing to go to the other schools.
Not really peer pressure, but, you want to follow your friends.
Okay. It happens to all of us. When I was young, I suppose the same thing happened to me. All right. So, what was your experience like in the preparatory part of the school? I wouldn't ask you about kindergarten because maybe you were too young to remember what transpired there at that time. But what was your experience in prep school like?
Okay, in prep school, I remember we had the sign language club, we had the choir, we had, a lot of fun activities like sports day and fun day. Back then, those activities were really, they were really, I don't know which word to use, but they were like the it,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But my prep school experience was good. I went to JCDC a couple of times, from being on the choir. The week of prayer activities that we always have are always a blessing. I used to write notes while I went to week of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my prep school experience.
Okay, wonderful. So, you were not just being trained academically.
No.
You ventured out in the arts because you say you sang and you went to the JCDC festival competition and so forth. And of course, knowing the system myself, there was a significant religious input in your experience, because you mentioned weeks of prayer, and
Yes.
maybe there was much Bible teaching too.
Yes, we always had Bible classes, always.
Now, how did you feel about the Bible teachings those days?
To
Did
be
you find it boring or anything like that, or you found it interesting?
Well, it wasn't really boring because it's the same thing that you learn at church.
Okay.
You're learning in Bible class
So it
at
was a
school.
repetition.
Yes, and so you can, show off with your friends that you know the answers.
Okay, all right. So you had an edge over them.
Yes.
All right. So you took what, GSAT, you said?
Yes,
Was it
GSAT.
Yes, and you passed.
Yes, I did.
What was your passing grade like, if you can remember?
My lowest grade was 90.
Your lowest grade in GSAT was 90.
Yes.
That means from those days you were doing very well at St. Anne's Bay.
I guess you could say that.
Well, I don't have to guess. Your scores indicate that. If your lowest grade was 90, that means you would have been selected, or you would have been privileged to attend one of these traditional high school, famous high school. You mentioned Westwood as a famous girls' school around this part of the country, I think. And can I understand the disappointment you might have been feeling at the time? But your parents decided that you would stay at high school here. And you have been there, you went there for what, 5 years, 4 years?
5 years.
5 years. How was that experience? You are more, you were getting more mature now, more aware of the world. How was that experience?
Well, high school was a really interesting experience. I saw some things that I never saw before, and I experienced some things that I've never experienced before.
Were those things unique to St. Anne's Bay?
Not really, just
unique to high school experience.
Yeah,
okay.
unique to high school experiences. I remember having a lot of new friends, you know, getting to know some people, and it was I don't know what exactly to say, but my high school experience was good. It has taught me some things, you know, taught me some really valuable life lessons, like, you know, time management and choosing the right friends.
Okay.
Those are two important things I learned at high school.
And of course the Bible continued to be an integral part of the curriculum there.
Yes, you know, the intern pastors were always there as our chaplains.
Okay, okay. So it was not just Bible teaching, you had chaplains who would have helped to mold and to guide and to influence you positively.
Yes, and in addition to a week of prayers, we had chapel on a regular basis.
What is chapel? Many persons listening might not be aware what that is.
Well,
what happened at chapel?
Chapel is a session, you know, normally it's just before lunch, that, you know, focuses on various topics. Sometimes it's, you know, managing your time. Sometimes it's, you know, saving financially, you know, creating a, you know, I remember one time they had this bank person come in and tell us, you know, how to save and why it's important to save and making good financial decisions. Sometimes it's about heroes, not really heroes, but people who have created a significant impact on the world. And, you know, sometimes they have, you know, Bible lessons there. Sometimes our chaplain would speak to us about various spiritual issues and a lot of other things, you know, some general things. Sometimes they would have things that focus, you know, on girls and our health and, you know, boys on their health.
Okay.
So that was our chapel.
And of course, I suspect that you continued to do well academically during your high school years at St. Anne's Bay High. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, CXC requires a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I realized that it's not just, sometimes it's not just read and pass. You have to put in a lot of work to get good grades in CSEC. Well, we did multiple choice this year, as, you know, a lot of people would know.
Yes,
and
because
so,
of the pandemic.
Yeah. And so it was an interesting experience just doing the multiple choice alone. I really looked forward to doing the paper 2. You know, paper 2 is where you get to express yourself.
Okay.
But from early in grade 10, you know, we started working on some of our SBAs, and so that really made it easier, even though some of us, like, I admit I kind of procrastinated somewhat.
Okay.
But I got them done, and here I am today with, you know, my CSEC results, good results.
So coming to that, did your parents have to push you to attend to your work?
Well, normally I
You are very studious. You are intrinsically motivated.
Yeah, normally I'm intrinsically motivated, but this year I was just like, sometimes I would just sit in front of the book and just look at it, because I'm saying, I can't pass this year. And like my mother would say, no, Ashley, the ball is in your court. You can do this. And so I guess, you know, the whole pandemic thing was getting to my head, and it was just, I just really felt like I wouldn't do as good as I wanted to do this year.
Okay, and you must have done very well, and I am assuming that you were not only, you didn't only do well academically, but socially, and otherwise you were a model student. You were well respected because you were the head girl at St. Anne's Bay High. What was that experience?
That experience, it was not as favorable as I wanted it to be. Personally, I think I could have done more as the head girl, but I learned some things from it, and I'll take those lessons, throughout life.
Okay, so did you have a lot of challenges from your fellow students?
Yes, some of them can be quite challenging, but the teachers are there.
Okay, to back you up.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you have come to the end of your tenure at St. Anne's Bay High, and as we said earlier, you have transitioned to NCU. You have chosen to focus on the world of computers. That sounds to many persons like something a boy would want to pursue. Why did you choose that?
Well, because I think computers really fascinate me, especially the programs behind it, to know that you have this application and just behind the scenes, it's just zeros and ones and just, little statements, statements that you wouldn't think make sense, and to think that makes an entire application, makes the entire internet. I think that's very interesting, and that's why I studied computer
By the way,
science.
let me go back a little bit. What were the results of your CXC examination?
Okay, I got 5 1s and 5 2s.
So you passed all of 10 subjects, and if my understanding of the system is right, 1s and 2s constitute distinction. Am I correct?
Yes.
So you really got 10 distinctions.
Yes.
Congratulations. And by
Thank
the way,
you.
you have been you attended St. Anne's Bay High beginning at kindergarten.
That's right.
You never went to any other school outside. So if anybody should tell you that the academics at St. Anne's Bay is not up to par, you wouldn't agree with them.
No, I wouldn't.
So you have good teachers there.
Yes.
And while the school might not have perfect facilities, and I don't think any school in Jamaica has perfect facilities, but like some government schools, some of these top high schools would have the best of what is available. But you might not have had that at St. Anne's Bay, but what was there was good enough to have allowed you, a dedicated student, to have 10 distinctions. And you would have, tell us some of the subjects you passed.
Math and English.
Math and English.
History.
Those are basic to any career.
Yeah, history, and I did all the sciences.
You did all the sciences?
Yes, physics.
And you passed them?
Yes.
Because there's a little folly going around that some of our schools are not doing well in the sciences, but you passed mathematics, physics, chemistry,
and biology.
and biology.
Yes.
That would indicate maybe you're going on the medical path, but you have chosen.
No, the medical path is not for me.
It's not for you.
No.
Okay. I hope it's not because of the reason that I did not choose that path myself. But once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
For having done so well, and congratulations for having chosen to not only do well academically, to be a servant of God, because in our understanding, with God as foundation, it guarantees success. So as you launch out at NCU in this very interesting career path, I want to wish you all the best, and maybe if the world lasts, down the road we'll be hearing about Ashley Ambersley doing well, doing exploits, coming up with new discoveries in the world of computers. Thanks, Ashley, for joining me today.
It was a
and
pleasure.
I hope your brother follow in your path, and your parents are proud of you, and we are proud of you too. God bless you.
Thank you.
Friends, what an inspiring young lady. A young lady of whom we are going to hear great things in the future, because she's very committed and dedicated academically, and she's also in touch with our God and our Creator. The Bible says in Proverbs, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Ashley's story today is a very, very strong testimony to the value of Christian education. She has not only been doing well academically, but she has been doing well otherwise. She is spared from the ravages of sin that characterize many of the young people today. There are many young people, they are doing well academically, but they are educated crooks. We see it manifested in the lives of so many adults today. But here is a very balancing lady, doing well academically.
The good that I have done, I know with Jesus there's a victory to be won. And if I don't make it, it's only me to be blamed, for I've been warned time and time again. I want to make heaven my home. I don't want to labor in vain. Heaven my home. Lord, help me to make it in, for no matter what it takes, I really want to make heaven my home. I'm convinced that once I'm in His presence, I can't be harmed, for He is my defense. Though temptations often come my way, the hand of Jesus will guide me day by day. And though the way through life, it is a narrow path, a sacrifice until this world has passed, I want to make heaven my home. I don't want to labor in vain. Heaven my home. Lord, help me to make it in, for no matter what it takes, I really want to make heaven my home.
The Lord rewrote my life with grace and mercy. He sets me free from all infirmity. And now that I know what's right from what's wrong, I'm gonna keep holding on.
I wanna make heaven my home. I don't wanna labor in vain. Heaven my home. Lord, help me to make it in, for no matter what it takes, I really wanna make heaven my home. I wanna make heaven my home. I don't wanna labor in vain. Heaven my home. Lord, help me to make it in, for no matter what it takes, I really wanna make heaven my home.
Where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to help me to the end. Where